Hello, this is Miss Timmons from Provost Academy, Georgia, and in this video you are going to learn how to identify a conic section after completing the square of an equation. Please keep in mind that this is not a tutorial on completing the square. You should have a good grasp of that concept before we begin, but I will still mention the steps in the video. We are going to take the equation x squared plus y squared plus 6x plus 8y plus 24 equals 0, complete the square, and after we've completed the square, identify the conic section. The first step to completing the square is to have all the variables on one side and constant terms on the other. So I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. The next thing I want to do is group my x terms together with my y terms because this is going to be important when we complete the square. So I'm just going to put x squared plus 6x together and leave some space for that third term. And then I'll put y squared plus 8y together and leave space for that third term as well. And now, since we subtracted, we have negative 24 on the other side. So typically, what you're going to do when you complete the square, you take the b term. For the x's, b would be 6. So you take b divided by 2 and square it. So we would have 6 divided by 2 squared. And remember, this is an equation. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So we can't forget to do 6 divided by 2 squared on the other side of the equal sign as well. So we've taken care of the x's. So now we're going to move to the y's. And we're going to take b, which is 8, divided by 2 squared. So 8 divided by 2 squared, add to one side. And don't forget, we need to also add it to the other. So we have essentially completed the square for both x and y. The next step is to simplify what we have. So we're going to do a little simplification here on this step. X squared plus 6 plus 9. And then the next part becomes y squared plus 8y plus 16. And while we're at it, let's simplify the right side of the equation as well. Okay. So the next thing that we want to do is to make it a squared term. So if we were to factor that, it would be x plus 3 times x plus 3, which is just x plus 3 squared. And over here, we get y plus 4 squared. And what I want you to notice, when you complete the square, the term inside the parentheses is just b over 2. So x plus b over 2 would be x plus 6 over 2, which is 3. And the same for y. 8 over 2 is 4. So we have completed our square, and the next step is to go back to our equations and identify the conic section. So we have x plus 3 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 1. The first thing I notice is that there's no denominator. Well, actually, they're both 1. So we know it's not a hyperbola, and we know it's not an ellipse. And then I look at the parabolas, and there's only one squared term, either x or y, not both, so we know it's not that. So the only thing left is a circle. So some of you may say, well, I see x plus 3 and x plus 4, and the equation has a minus in it. Well, keep in mind that that minus that plus 3 is the same as x minus negative 3, and y plus 4 is the same as y minus negative 4. So we do have the standard form of a circle, and just to take it a little step further, we can identify the center. Remember, the center is HK, so in our case the center is negative 3, negative 4, and our radius is 1. And keep in mind that the radius is the square root of 1 squared.